In the shadow of stone castles and under the watchful eyes of lords and priests, medieval life was anything but easy. Daily existence was often consumed by work, survival, and worship. But that doesn't mean fun was absent from the lives of those who lived through the Middle Ages. People still laughed, danced, and played. They found joy in community, in tradition, and in the simple things. Entertainment was different back then, but it was very much alive. Whether rich or poor, everyone carved out time to enjoy themselves in ways that reflected the rhythms of their world. The medieval calendar was marked by feast days and holy celebrations, many of which offered breaks from work. The average peasant, these were the highlights of the year. Religious festivals like Christmas, Easter, and saints' feast days were major events. They often included music, dancing, drinking, and feasting. People decorated their villages, wore their best clothes, and gathered in town squares to watch performances or join in games. These festivals weren't just religious obligations. They were chances to socialize, flirt, compete, and let loose. Music played a central role in medieval fun. From wandering minstrels who told tales through song to village musicians who played at local fairs, music was everywhere. In the cities and castles, professional troubadours and jongleurs performed for nobles, singing ballads of love, war, and heroism. In the countryside, simple instruments like the flute, drum, and fiddle were common. People gathered in circles to dance and sing along, turning otherwise dreary days into celebrations of sound and movement. Storytelling was another beloved pastime. Before books were widespread and literacy was common, oral storytelling ruled the day. Around the hearth or in a candlelit tavern, someone would spin a tale of knights and dragons, saints and sinners, or tricksters and fools. These stories were passed down through generations, evolving with each telling. They served as both entertainment and moral guidance, with the best storytellers earning admiration and even modest rewards. Games and sports were part of everyday fun. Children played with carved wooden toys, balls made of cloth or pig bladders, and simple board games like Nine Men's Morris. Adults enjoyed more intense games. In villages, wrestling matches and tug-of-war contests drew large crowds. Archery contests were popular, especially in England, where laws even required practice. Mock battles, called melees, allowed men to train while entertaining onlookers. Some games bordered on dangerous, like mob football, a chaotic village-wide match with few rules and plenty of bruises. Yet they built community spirit and gave people something to look forward to. The noble class had their own forms of fun, ones that reflected their wealth and status. Hunting was one of the most prestigious pastimes for lords and ladies. It was not only a sport but a ritual, involving elaborate costumes, trained falcons or hounds, and a great deal of ceremony. Falconry in particular was considered a noble art. Watching a bird of prey soar into the sky to catch its target was a symbol of both control and elegance. After the hunt, nobles would often host feasts, complete with music, poetry, and elaborate dishes. Tournaments were another spectacle loved by the upper classes. These were not just martial exercises, but grand social events. Knights competed in jousts, showing off their skill, bravery, and chivalry before enthusiastic crowds. Nobles watched from pavilions dressed in their finest, while commoners gathered at the edges to cheer and gawk. Vendors sold food and drinks, musicians played, and banners flew in the wind. For a few days, the harshness of reality gave way to excitement, pageantry, and competition. In the cities, entertainment took on different forms. Public executions might sound morbid today, but they were major public spectacles in medieval towns. People gathered in large numbers to witness justice in action. While grim, these events were seen as communal rituals, part moral lesson and part social gathering. More pleasant city entertainments included mystery plays and miracle plays. These were theatrical performances put on by local guilds and centered around biblical stories or the lives of saints. The actors were usually amateurs, and performances took place on makeshift stages in public squares. These plays were surprisingly elaborate and drew enthusiastic crowds, combining spiritual lessons with lively entertainment. Markets and fairs were another source of joy and distraction. They brought people together from surrounding villages to trade goods, eat unusual foods, and watch traveling performers. Jugglers, acrobats, and fire eaters competed for attention, while fortune-tellers and peddlers hawked their wares. For many, these events were the closest thing to a vacation. They were colorful, chaotic, and filled with noise and laughter. For those with quieter tastes, monasteries offered a different kind of amusement. Though monks lived austere lives, they still found moments of joy. Gardening, calligraphy, and brewing beer were considered both work and pleasure. Some monasteries had vast libraries, and monks who could read spent hours with manuscripts, not just religious ones, but also tales of ancient heroes and classical philosophy. Within these walls, fun was more contemplative, a blend of beauty and devotion. Even within peasant homes, fun was found in simple things. Singing while working in the fields, sharing jokes over a meal of bread and ale, or telling ghost stories by the fire helped pass long winter nights. Community was key.
Ow.
Life was hard, and laughter was often a remedy for suffering. Weddings turned into village-wide parties. A birth or baptism became an excuse for a celebration. Even funerals were followed by meals where people told stories and found solace in shared memories. Sometimes, people made their own mischief. The tradition of the Lord of Misrule during Christmas allowed a chosen peasant or servant to play king for a day, mocking their masters in good fun. Festivals like May Day turned social norms upside down. Men and women flirted freely, danced around maypoles, and crowned the May Queen. These moments of role reversal and freedom gave people a taste of joy they rarely experienced the rest of the year. Alcohol often played a role in medieval fun. Ale was safer to drink than water and consumed daily, but during celebrations it flowed more freely. Taverns were hubs of social life, where men gathered to drink, gamble, sing Bodhi songs, and argue about politics or church doctrine. A few too many drinks could lead to brawls, but taverns were also places of connection. For many, they were the medieval version of a night out. While the medieval world lacked modern conveniences, people still found endless ways to enjoy themselves. Their fun was often communal rather than private, rooted in the cycle of the seasons, the rhythm of the church, and the life of the village. They didn't need smartphones, televisions, or theme parks. They had songs, stories, games, and each other. Even amid famine, war, and plague, the human spirit found room for joy. Understanding what people did for fun in the Middle Ages reminds us that while the past was different, the people were not so unlike us. They needed moments of escape, of laughter, of love, and celebration. They made do with what they had and often made something beautiful from it. The flicker of a candle, the beat of a drum, or the cheer of a village crowd, their joy lived on. Thanks for taking this journey back in time with us. As you've seen, fun in the Middle Ages might not have involved screens or social media, but it was rich in its own vibrant and earthy way. From the lively music of the village square to the grand tournaments of noble courts, people found joy in storytelling, celebration, games, and shared traditions. Whether laughing over a mug of ale in a noisy tavern or dancing around a maypole on a spring morning, medieval folks knew how to make the most of their moments of freedom. If this glimpse into the past surprised you or made you smile, imagine what other parts of history are waiting to be rediscovered. Life back then may have been tough, but their ways of having fun remind us that the human spirit has always craved joy, connection, and celebration. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more fascinating stories from history, and drop a comment about which medieval pastime you'd try if given the chance. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, keep wondering, keep learning, and never underestimate how fun the past can be.